Hello, dear students. Welcome back in class 10th biology. Students, I hope that you all are safe and sound at your homes. Well, today we will continue chapter 9, Heredity and Evolution. In today's lecture, we will study in detail about dihybrid cross, law of independent assortment, how do genes control the traits of an organism, or how does the mechanism of heredity work? Then sex determination. Students, in the previous lecture, we have learned about monohybrid cross, in which we discussed in detail about inheritance of single character. The breeding experiment conducted by Mendel to explain the laws of inheritance. Today we will discuss about Mendel's breeding experiment dealing with study of inheritance of two characters having two pairs of contrasting traits. Mendel selected pure breeding plants, pea plants, for yellow and green color of seeds, round and wrinkled shape of seeds. What did Mendel do in this experiment? Let us see the dihybrid cross, in which Mendel studied the inheritance of two characters having the two pairs of contrasting traits. He cross-pollinated the flowers of pea plants which were developed from round shape of seeds having yellow color with flowers of plants developed from wrinkled shape and green seeds, green colored seeds. As you can see that the round shape of seeds is dominant over the wrinkled shape of seeds, and yellow color of the seeds is dominant over the green color of seeds. Means the round shape of seed is dominant feature or dominant trait, whereas its contrasting trait, that is wrinkled seed, is recessive trait. In the same way, yellow color of the seeds is dominant trait, and its contrasting trait, that is green color of seeds, is a recessive trait. So he made the pea plant as a male plant with features having the round seeds with yellow color, and female plant having the wrinkled seeds with green color. So round and yellow seeds is the homozygous dominant features or traits, whereas wrinkled and green seeds are homozygous recessive traits. So genotype of these parents having this type of phenotype, the genotype of these features, these traits of male pea plant were capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. They are denoted by genotype capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. Whereas homozygous recessive trait of wrinkled seeds with green color seeds is denoted by small r, small r, small y, small y. At the time of gamete formation, the alleles of two traits. Assort means separate independently without influencing each other. Each gamete receives one allele of each trait. For example, here the round trait, the allele of round, one allele of round trait is received by the gamete, and one allele of yellow trait, yellow color of seed, is received by the gamete. So here it is shown that each gamete receives one allele of each contrasting trait. So all male gametes were having the one allele of each trait, that is capital R for round shape of seeds and capital Y for yellow color of seeds. In the same way, in the case of female gametes formed in the female pea plant, each female gamete receives one allele of each trait. For example, small r for wrinkled seeds and small y for green color of seeds. Each gamete, female gamete, receives one small r for wrinkled seeds and one y for green color of seeds. And then Mendel obtained the first progeny, that is F1 generation or first filial generation, by the fertilization of these two types of gametes. If this male gamete with the alleles capital R and capital Y fuses with the female gamete having the alleles small r and small y, then the plants raised from these type of combination would have round and yellow seeds. This plant will produce round shape of seeds with yellow color with genotype capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. And if this male gamete fuses with this male gamete fuses with this female gamete, again the plants raised from this type of combination would bear round shape of seeds with yellow color of seeds. Same way, this type of male gamete fuses with this female gamete, or this male gamete fuses with this female gamete having these type of alleles, then he found that ultimately all the plants raised in F1 generation beared round and yellow seeds, which are hybrid or heterozygous in nature with the genotype capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. None of the plant had the recessive traits of wrinkled and green seeds. All plants were obtained with round shape of seeds with yellow color of seeds. But this time their genotype was capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. In this way, in F1 generation, only dominant traits were obtained, that is the plants that bear round shape of seeds with yellow color were obtained in F1 generation. Now the plants of F1 generation became the parents of F2 generation. This time Mendel cell-pollinated the plants of F1 generation having the phenotype hybrid round shape of seeds with yellow color with genotype capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. This time 4 types of gametes were obtained, like some have the 2 genes or alleles as capital R, capital Y, some with capital R, small y, some with small r and capital Y, and some with small r and small y. Same way in the female gametes, the four types of female gametes were obtained having the genes or alleles of different characters, like some have capital R, capital Y, some with capital R, small y, some with small r, capital Y, and some with small r and small y. Now, at the time of fertilization, from these four types of male gametes and four types of female gametes, four types of male gametes and four types of female gametes, 16 plants were obtained with different genotype. Let us see, if the male gamete having capital R, capital Y genes fuses with female gamete also having capital R and capital Y genes, then the genotype of plant would be capital R, capital R, capital Y with phenotype round and yellow, as round and yellow both are dominant traits. And if this male gamete fuses with female gamete, capital R, capital Y male gamete, capital R, small y female gamete fuse with each other, then the genotype obtained is capital R, capital Y, small y, with genotype again round and yellow, because round is dominant feature or trait and yellow is also dominant trait. If this type of gamete with the capital R, capital Y fuses with small r and capital Y of female gamete, then genotype would be capital R, small r, capital Y, capital Y. With phenotype, as R is dominant round and yellow is dominant, so round and yellow phenotype. Same way, if this type of gamete with capital R, capital Y fuses with female gamete having the gene small r, small y, then the genotype would be capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, with phenotype round and yellow. Same way, if this type of male gamete having capital R, small y fuses with capital R, capital Y genes of female gamete, then the genotype of the plant would be capital R, capital Y, small y, with phenotype round and yellow. And if this capital R with small y male gamete fuses with female gamete with capital R and small y, the genotype would be capital R, small y. This time capital R is the dominant gene or trait, and so round phenotype would be obtained, but this time small y both are recessive genes for the trait green color. So here the phenotype of the plant would be round shape of seeds with green color. Then again, if this capital R, capital Y male gamete fuses with the female gamete having the small r, capital Y, then the combination of genotype would be capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, and the phenotype would be round and yellow. Then if this type of male gamete with capital R, small y fuses with female gamete small r, small y, then the genotype would be capital R, small r, and small y. Again, now you can see that R is dominant, so round is the phenotype, and small y, this time green color of the seeds would be obtained with round shape of seeds. And now see here again this type of combination. If male gamete with the small r, capital Y fuses with female gamete capital R, capital Y, genotype would be capital R, small r, capital Y, and phenotype would be round and yellow. If this male gamete with the small r, capital Y fuses with the female gamete having capital R, and small y, the genotype would be capital R, capital Y, small y. And this time you can see that the dominant feature round and dominant feature yellow color of seed would be obtained. Now see this combination again of male gamete with small r and capital Y, if fuses with small r and capital Y type of female gamete, then the genotype would be small r, capital Y, small r, again the recessive trait, and this time wrinkle trait would be obtained along with yellow color of seeds. Now see again another combination, male gamete with small r, small r with capital Y fuses with the female gamete with small r and small y, then the genotype would be, this time genotype would be small r, capital Y, small y. And see the phenotype, small r will give wrinkled seeds, shape of seeds, and capital Y, small y gives the yellow color of seeds, as yellow is dominant over the small y. This time you can see that this male gamete with the genes small r, small y, if fuses with the female gamete with capital R, capital Y, the genotype would be capital R, capital Y, small y, and the phenotype would be round shape of seeds with yellow color. And if this RY male gamete, small r, small y male gamete fuses with female gamete with genes or alleles capital R and Y, small y, then the genotype would be capital R, small y, and phenotype would be round due to this dominant R and green due to this recessive trait. Then if the small r, small y male gamete fuses with the female gamete having small r, small y, then the small r, capital Y, small r, small y male gamete fuses with small r, capital Y female gamete, then the genotype of the plant would be small r, capital Y, small y, but the phenotype would be wrinkled and yellow color of seeds. If the small r, small y male gamete fuses with the female gamete with small r, small y, then this time the genotype would be small r, small y, wrinkled shape of seeds with green color of seeds would be the phenotype of the plant. Now in this way, in this Punnett square, Mendel obtained 16 plants with 4 different combinations which are expressed in the phenotypic ratio of 9:3:3:1. Means 9 type of, out of 16 plants, 9 plants were having the phenotype round shape of seeds with the yellow color, and 3 plants out of 16 plants having the phenotype round shape of seeds with the green color of seeds, and again 3 out of 16 plants having the phenotype wrinkled seeds with yellow color of seeds, and 1 out of 16 plants having the wrinkled and green wrinkled shape of seeds with green color of seeds. You can see the ratio, 9 are the round and yellow, and 3 are round in shape but green in color, and 3 are wrinkled in shape but yellow in color, and 1 is wrinkled as well as green in color. So you can see that here the phenotypic ratio obtained in this dihybrid cross is 9:3:3:1. So what is the phenotypic ratio of dihybrid cross? Very important question. 9:3:3:1. Now students, you can see that in this whole dihybrid cross, round and yellow, wrinkled and green were the parental traits, but the new combinations obtained in F2 generation of dihybrid cross are round shape of seeds with green color and wrinkled shape of seeds with yellow color. None of the parents was having these type of combinations, but in F2 generation the new combinations were obtained in the ratio of 3:3. So in this way the new characters were obtained, but no allele impact of any trait had any influence on the allele of or gene of the another trait. So all had their own expressions in F2 generation. And genotypic ratio, if you see, if you compare the genotypes of all the plants, then this ratio comes out to be 1:2:2, ratio 4:1, ratio 2:1, ratio 2:1. But you need not to learn genotypic ratio of dihybrid cross. It is not in your syllabus, but you can mathematically count that how many plants were having these type of genotypes from this Punnett square, and you can develop the genotypic ratio of dihybrid cross. But in your syllabus only phenotypic ratio of dihybrid cross will be asked generally in the exams. Students, this dihybrid cross involves law of independent assortment, which states that two factors or genes of a character separate and pair independently of the two factors or genes of another character during gamete formation and fertilization respectively. Means at the time of gamete formation, the two factors or genes of a character separate without influencing the two factors or genes of another character and reunite at the time of fertilization and express their traits in the generation. So due to this, it also results in the recombination of new characters, as you have seen in the previous slide, that during dihybrid cross, which is dealing with the inheritance of two characters having two contrasting traits, in F2 generation the phenotypic ratio is formed in the ratio of 9:3:3:1. In F2 generation we have seen round shape of seeds with yellow color and wrinkle shape of seeds with green color as the parental traits, but along with them the new traits were also appeared in the generation F2 generation, that is with round shape of seeds having green color of seeds and wrinkled shape of seeds having yellow color of seeds. These are the new combinations or the recombinations of new characters obtained in the F2 generation of dihybrid cross. So this is all about dihybrid cross. Try this dihybrid cross between male tall pea plant with wrinkled seeds and female dwarf pea plant with round seeds in your biology notebooks. Remember, tall trait is dominant over dwarf trait and round trait is dominant over wrinkle trait. After doing this dihybrid cross in your notebooks, check your answer from these two slides of this dihybrid cross. You will see that the phenotypic ratio of this dihybrid cross in F2 generation would be 9:3:3:1. Students, you know that the traits of the character of an organism is controlled by a pair of genes. Now let us see how do genes control the traits of an organism. And this question can also be asked that how does the mechanism of heredity work? Students, you all know that cellular DNA is the information source of making proteins in the cell. And segment of DNA or section of DNA is called the gene for that protein. This can be explained with the help of one example. Plants have hormones that trigger their growth. Means plant growth is controlled by plant hormones. For example, plant height, depends upon the amount of particular plant hormone, and the amount of plant hormone made will depend on the efficiency of the process that make this hormone, and the efficiency of this process further depends on an enzyme which is controlled by a gene. It means formation of enzyme depends on the efficiency of the work efficiency of gene. If the gene for that enzyme works efficiently, then a lot of plant hormone will be made and the plant will be tall. But if the gene has some alteration, then the process that make enzyme for that hormone will be less efficient, and as a result the less amount of hormone, plant hormone, will be produced and the plant height will be short. In this way, the gene controls the trait of an organism. Let us see this whole process with the help of one flow chart. Students, the height of the plant depends on the amount of plant hormone, and production of plant hormones depend upon an enzyme. The efficiency of that enzyme to make that particular plant hormone is controlled by gene. If the gene for that enzyme works efficiently, then a lot of hormone will be produced and the plant will be tall. But if the gene for that enzyme has an alteration that makes the enzyme less efficient, then less plant hormone will be produced and ultimately the plant will be dwarf. Thus, this is how the genes control characteristics or traits of the organisms. Now students, let us see one more important topic of this chapter, that is sex determination. How is the sex of newborn individual determined? Students, there are different ways of sex determination in different species. Some species depend entirely on environmental factors for their sex. For example, in turtle, the incubation temperature above 33 degrees Celsius produces females. Means if the temperature of their incubation rises above 33 degrees Celsius, then these organisms produce female offsprings. And if the temperature of their incubation goes below 28 degrees Celsius, they produce male offsprings. So in these type of organisms, the sex of the offsprings does not depend on the genes. It depends on the environmental factors. See another example. In lizards, Agama is the scientific name of these lizards, the species of this lizard, Agama. The high incubation temperature produce male offsprings. In snails, even individual can change sex, indicating that the sex is not genetically determined. But in human beings, the sex of the child depends on the genes. So, the sex of the child is genetically determined. Now students, let us see sex determination in human beings. Students, you all know that there are 46 number of chromosomes in human beings, out of which 44 are called autosomes, which determine the body features of human beings other than the sex of the human beings, and the last pair is called sex chromosomes, that is XX in females and XY in males. In females, both XX chromosomes are perfect pair of sex chromosomes and are of equal size, whereas in human males, the sex chromosomes are mismatched, in which one is normal size, that is X chromosome, and the other one is short, that is called Y chromosome. At the time of gamete formation, adult male produces two types of sperms, half with X chromosomes and half sperms with Y chromosomes. And female at the time of puberty produces same kind of eggs with X chromosomes. At the time of fertilization, if the sperm having X chromosome gets chance to fuse with egg having X chromosome, then the resultant zygote with genotype XX will be formed, which will develop into girl child. If the sperm having Y chromosome gets chance to fuse with egg having X chromosome, then the resultant zygote will have genotype XY and will develop into male child. In this way, in this pattern of inheritance, we will see that the half of the children will be boys with the XY chromosomes and half of the children will be female with XX chromosomes. In this way, it is a type of chromosome, that is X or Y, inherited from father, which will decide the sex of the child, whether it is female or male. In fact, it is a matter of chance. The sperm with X or Y chromosome will fuse with egg having X chromosome, that determines the sex of the child. So let us see what we have learned in sex determination of human beings. And this is also asked as a blueprint question of your NCERT textbook of science on page number 147. How is the sex of the child is determined in human beings? In human beings, there are 23 pairs of chromosomes or 46 number of chromosomes present in their body cells, out of which 22 pairs of chromosomes are called autosomes and the last pair XX or XY are called sex chromosome. In females, there are 44 plus XX chromosomes and in males there are 44 plus XY chromosomes. So students, you can be asked in the exam that how many total number of chromosomes are there in body cells of human beings. So it's obvious, you can say that 23 pairs of chromosomes or 46 number of chromosomes. You can be asked the number of autosomes or number of sex chromosomes in human males and females. Similarly, you can be asked the genotype of human females and genotype of human males. Genotype of human females 44 plus XX chromosomes and genotype of human males are 44 plus XY chromosomes. So students, at the time of gamete formation, male parent produces two types of sperms, half with 22 plus X chromosomes and half with 22 plus Y chromosomes. So you can be asked what is the genotype of sperms produced in human males. So you can say that 22 plus X chromosomes and 22 plus Y chromosomes. Whereas in females, one type of eggs with genotype 22 plus X are formed, and at the time of fertilization, if the sperm carrying 22 plus X chromosomes fuses with egg having 22 plus X chromosomes, then resultant zygote will develop into female child with genotype 44 plus XX chromosomes. On the other hand, if the sperm carrying 22 plus Y chromosomes fuses with egg having 22 plus X chromosomes, then the resultant zygote will develop into male child, that is with 44 plus XY genotype. So this is how the sex of the child is determined. So students, in this way it is the type of chromosomes, that is X or Y, inherited from father will decide the sex of the individual. In fact, it is the matter of chance at the time of fertilization that sperm either with X chromosome or Y chromosome will fuse with the egg having X chromosome that determine the sex of the child. So students, you can give the pattern of inheritance of sex determination in human beings in this way also. Father carrying 44 plus XY chromosomes, genotype of father is 44 plus XY and genotype of mother is 44 plus XX. These are the parents. At the time of gamete formation, father produce two types of sperms, half with 22 plus X chromosomes and half with 22 plus Y. So it is the genotype of sperms produced by human males, and mother or female produce eggs with the 22 plus X chromosomes. So at the time of fertilization, if the sperm with 22 plus X chromosome fuses with egg 22 plus X chromosome, it will result into the birth of baby girl with genotype 44 plus XX chromosomes. And if the sperm with 22 plus Y chromosome gets chance to fuse with egg with having 22 plus X chromosome, it will result in the formation of baby boy with genotype 44 plus XY chromosomes. So in this pattern of inheritance, half of the children, 50% children, there will be chance of baby girl with genotype 44 plus XX chromosomes, and 50% chance of birth of baby boy with the genotype 44 plus XY chromosomes. So this is how you have to represent the inheritance of or determination of sex of the child in human beings. So students, this is all for today's lecture. Thank you and have a nice day.